that Claire is the praiseworthy Big Mama. Let that sit for a minute with you, Elder. Not until you clairvoyant do you see clear that Claire is the Muhammad. Right? We notice culturally, when we know our culture, we say, oh, that's a code. But we don't know our culture, let that white man up there talking about this white man God. Right? But we ain't never been deceived about our culture. Mm-hmm. When you go back and listen to the stories, the story is Elijah supposed to be drunk on the tracks. What happened next? You remember?
Say what now?
Elijah Muhammad supposed to be drunk on the train tracks.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, now, this is right before his awakening. Claire sent his oldest sons, I think it was, I think his name was like Hubert or Filbert or something.
Yeah, Hubert. I think it's Hubert.
And Wallace to go get their daddy off the tracks and bring him back home. That's cold talk. That's cold talk. The tracks is the crossroads. Right? If you drunk on the crossroads in ancient times, that was a sacrifice. You sacrifice yourself on the crossroads in order to meet the Baron, Samadhi, the Baron of the crossroad. But only he not gonna answer nobody but the women. Big Mama. If Big Mama didn't sing you, you're not coming off them tracks. You can't go on your own. But if Big Mama sing you, she gonna have to send somebody to come recover your body before you get killed.
Right.
We don't remember the old culture like that. Right? So the mirror opposite of Farrakhan Muhammad is Claire Muhammad. 100% perfect mirror opposite. Right? Pale face, chocolate skin. Right? Man, woman. Right? We never was deceived about God being the great mother.
Right.
Only we went along with the story, but they passed her off as a man when they called her Jesus. And all the time, if we go back to the Greek, we realize that it was Isis the whole time.
And that's why in the Pope office, their secret little room, they got the Black Madonna feed the baby.
Right. Right.
So if Jesus is God, who the hell is Mary?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say it all the time. If Jesus is God, Hail Mary, Mother of God, what they make her? She is the God maker. Now we back in masonry, whether we want to be or not. Because as soon as you realize who the God maker is, only certain women are God maker. But all of the women that's God makers is heirs. Right? And they can't make a creator God. They can only make a ruler God. Because they the creator God.
Right.
Right? So she can only either create another creator God, a daughter, or she can also create a ruler God, a rightful heir, a son, Heru, right? To ascend to become Usir. The son becomes the father. Right? So all this stuff is understanding your own culture, then none of these stories is going to be the same. The whole Mormon story is going to be different. When you read the Book of Mormon, when you know your culture, it don't even have the same meaning anymore. What was racist in our brains before we remembered our culture is a whole nother paradigm once we recovered our culture in our mind. It's no longer racist. It's understanding the war protocol from a different angle. We've been at war.
The whole time.
We've been at war, and all warfare is based on deception.
They had to deceive us into thinking we came from Africa. We came on a slave ship, and then once we start putting the numbers together, the numbers don't look right. You can't like the numbers didn't look nothing. The numbers don't line up, and so now you know what, AI. Like I told you, I did the AI today, and it said another thing too. It said that the numbers don't add up, but it said that this was a type of lie that couldn't last, like it was only gonna last for a certain amount of time, then it was up. It wasn't gonna last forever. This lie couldn't last forever. That's the way it said it. Like this lie couldn't last forever.
No lie can outlast the truth.
Go ahead.
No lie can outlast the truth. Here's something about people be saying, are we really in 2025? According to the Gregorian calendar, we are literally in 2025. Right? It's not the calendar, it's which calendar. Right? Because every calendar is based on a certain point in time that they established the calendar's point of origin. What are you measuring with your calendar?
Right.
Right? The Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar is similar but different.
Right.
Right? But both of them is counting time from the alleged crucifix.
Right.
Right? Once you understand the crucifix story, and then you know the contemporary history, the only reasonable conclusion, and you know how to look up words.
Mm-hmm.
The only conclusion you can come to is that Cleopatra was Isis, and Isis is Jesus. And the story they're telling you is the Cleopatra story. And they got a story in the era, and whether it's true or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I can only recount the stories so you can understand how the narrative is being skewed. One of Cleopatra's daughters was allegedly arrested and paraded through town exactly as the Christ.
Wow.
Now, if that's true, and it's contemporary with the times, and that was the last throes of matriarchy, because the patriarchs didn't take over instantaneously. It was a long, drawn-out 4,000-year struggle, right? So, if this is true about the story of Cleopatra, and they don't got Cleopatra tomb, and they don't got Jesus tomb, and we know Jesus in Greek is Isis, meaning they don't got Isis tomb, meaning they don't got Cleopatra tomb. Meaning, where's Cleopatra? In order to find Cleopatra, you discover Isis, and when you discover Isis, you realize that's how they know everybody claiming that Jesus is a fraud.
Right.
Because if you know who Jesus is, you know Jesus is the mother, and Emmanuel is Heru, the son. And that the people talking in the book in the red is not the same person.
Hey, yeah, I'm with you, Raw. I'm with you. I'm with you. I see how they switched it. It's a man thing because they were more on even over there and over there on us that side with our people on that side. We was matriarch all over the land. It wasn't just over. It was our whole culture on the whole planet was matriarch. Since our nana, since Anu passed it to our nana, it's been matriarch ever since. So if you go over to Africa, I mean to Africa over there, where they say that because really Alexander the Greek left from over here, but that's another story because they found his tomb over in Illinois. They found Alexander the Greek tombs in Illinois. They cut the Freemasons covering it up, right?
But you got to remember you got to look up the meaning of the names because the meaning of the name Alexander is most likely a title. More than a single individual. It's like the title of Isis. You be listening to all these women who had these past life memories of being Isis in Egypt. They all might be telling the truth depending on the era.
That's right. I can see that.
Right? So they all had an opportunity to hold the great mother seat because they was a great mother at the time.
Right.
Now, the same with this title of Osiris. Osiris just means the exalted father, Usir. Right? And it's referenced by the Orion star constellation which makes the children of the Usir the Orianos, children of Orion. But all of this stuff has changed over the millennia. And the hardest part for somebody with past life memories is to explain to you how it was changed and what was done to change it. Because the references is difficult to find because they still trying to bury history from the 60s.
Right.
Right? If they burying, matter of fact, you got living historical figures. And they want us to believe one way about them, but when they arrested them, they was a political prisoner out the gate.
Right.
Right? Like Larry Hoover was never in there for actually committing a murder. They never said he killed nobody, ever.
Right.
But you had people running around saying Larry Hoover is a murderer.
Right.
He never killed nobody. Now, the next part of it is this. They never said he told nobody to kill nobody. Right? Mm-hmm. They said that because of who he was and his ability to influence, he don't have to tell the person to do it, that the person will follow that influence and do it on their own. That's what Larry Hoover was originally went to prison for. Mm-hmm. For being a figure that was so potent in our community that if somebody said they was going to do something to him, they got dealt with on the spot, whether Larry knew about it or not.
Right.
So therefore, if somebody did something that they can say he knew Larry Hoover, they could use that to railroad him into their system as a POW, as a political prisoner. We got to always remember warrant is a compound word consisting of two words, warn and rant. They never issue a warrant on the group.
Right.
There's always one name on the warrant. On your paperwork when you go to court, it's never John Smith versus you. Right. It always say the people of the state of or the people of the United States. It's never one. That's a violation of the Constitution in itself because your accuser's name is supposed to be the one that's listed as the plaintiff.
Right.
If it's a murder case, the next of kin's name of the murdered person is supposed to be but they can't use massive resources of prosecution if they put the one person's name on the complainant's name on there. Mm. Right? There's no way you could be against everybody in your state.
Right.
And call that fair.
Right.
Right? Now, if you wanted to level the playing field in the court, ask for the same resources of prosecution for your defense. They're gonna shut you down. I want access to the forensic laboratory. I want access to a group of private investigators. Since y'all can use detectives, I want y'all to spend whatever dollar for dollar, whatever y'all spend on my prosecution, I want you to match that on my defense. Because remember, you're not supposed to be able to have to pay for a lawyer. They're supposed to be able to provide it for you. It's in your Miranda warning.
Yeah. Yeah.
What enemy is going to provide you with adequate relief from his oppression and tyranny? That's the most retarded thing you ever heard of. But the Constitution clearly say that you have a right that can't be abridged to confront your accuser. All trials in America are supposed to be public. 90% of them, 98% of them, we don't know what's going on.
Right.
Right? Until they came out with court TV, there was no public trials.
Go ahead.
Trials wasn't public. Right?
Right.
When OJ went to trial, that was a big deal because it was a public trial. And they knew the whole time they was accusing OJ of murder that he ain't even the one did it.
Right.
They had it in the paperwork. And they didn't even release the paperwork that they had that would have exonerated him at a preliminary hearing. They didn't even release that till after he got acquitted.
Wow.
So Johnny Cochran didn't even have access to the confession letter of the serial killer or the hitman. He didn't even have access to none of that until after the trial. Because that's what they call exculpatory evidence, and they notorious when they want to get rid of somebody of doing that.
Wow, this is a straight criminal. They just the worst criminals. Hey, we'll take some questions from the crowd, y'all. Drop your questions in the chat. I'll put them up, and we'll go over some questions. Somebody said the first one is the L. Rookin.
Rookin, Chief Malik Angel Bay, when he came home from prison, he wanted to change the name of Stones from Black Peace Stone Rangers. They named after Blackstone Street in Chicago, and they became Black Peace Stone, and then he was to change them to El Rookin. El Rookin means the rook. The rook is a castle on the chessboard, and the reason he was using that is because he's the law, and on the chessboard, the rook is the law. He is the enforcer for the king and the queen, right? Then you have the bishop and the knight, right? The knight leads the cavalry, the horseback riders. That's why it's the head of the horse on the chessboard. The bishop lead the priesthood, right? So even if you look at it, Jeff sent T. Rogers to California to aid and assist the Red House. This is not publicly stated in that fashion, but it's based on the moves of the youth of the day and what we was trying to do to help each other. If you know who T. Rogers is, and you know he was originally Black Peace Stone Ranger, then you know that that's why they called him Bishop. His name is Bishop T. Rogers.
Right.
So, the bishop and the rook working together, he was going on a ministerial role. That means he didn't go to California to take over. He didn't go to California to dictate orders. He came in an advisory capacity as a minister to a family in crisis. Right? And so the El Rookins was Jeff Ford's cold flip to the world, that he was supposed to be the one right now putting his foot in people's ass with stone. That's why they say stone run it. That's what they talking about. The stones is the law, whereas the folks, the Blue House, is the ambassadors and the politicians. We the ones supposed to be doing the social front work, while Angel Bagnum is securing all over the land. But since the government interfered, it has disrupted our patterns and our purpose, but it didn't stop that.
Right.
We adjusted.
Right.
And we overcome.
Indeed. Yeah, also somebody said the El Rookin is the cornerstone. The cornerstone is the rook. The rook is the cornerstone of the board. So it's the same exact meaning.
That's another name for El Rookin, yep, the cornerstone.
Yeah. Somebody said, how do we get good seeds to plant for farming?
You got to know somebody that's a farmer that tell you where to get the non-GMO seeds from. I don't have the exact information about where to get the seeds from, but I know a lot of people that don't mess with that GMO stuff, and they keep their own seed supply.
Somebody said, what's happening? Wait.
They didn't went after the minister before. They poisoned him several times. Right. Most of us don't know this. We think Farrakhan just has enjoyed his role as the leader of the Nation of Islam since he reconstituted it, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know what he's been through as a man. Most of us don't know about him flying around on his World Friendship Tour with hot radioactive cancer fighting agents in his stomach. We don't know about that. Because the minister not looking for sympathy, he's looking to be effective. Right? So they didn't come at him if they want to. They didn't try it before. They tried it. They didn't subpoena him in the court, no trumped up charges. And he sent his legal team down there and they shut him down. But the whole thing being is the minister is persona non grata now. If they do something to the minister, it can make the whole country go up because of what we have actually going on right now. Not what people see with the naked eye, but what y'all don't see. These truces that the mediators between Bloods and Crips and Vice Lords and GDs and BDs and Stone are being facilitated, meaning that the minister has authorized certain members in the nation to be the mediator between opposing sides of warring factions of us to bring us back together in unity. And right now is such a critical time that if they come in messing with the minister, depending on how they approach him, right, it's not going to go good. It's a bad idea.
I'm telling you.
It's a bad idea, right? Because one, he's up in age. And even if we was not on his direct security team, when we have somebody who gets to become an elder up in age like that, with the amount of wisdom that he has, and that doesn't cry to his people, right, on a daily basis about the injustices being done to him personally, while he's fighting the injustices being done to all of us, we naturally develop a defense mechanism to protect them. And it can make the whole shit go sideways. Idea.
I'm telling you.
It's not a good idea to shoot at him. It's not a good idea to arrest him. It's not a good idea to hit him with an egg. It's just not a good idea. Now, sometimes you got people in high places that deliberately do the worst idea possible. They deliberately do dumb stuff on purpose. But that would be one of the dumbest moves to make, especially when you have us waking up to the fabricated case against Malachi, the fabricated case against H. Rap Brown, the fabricated case against Assata Shakur, the fabricated case against all these political prisoners. That we realize they lost their whole life in the struggle for our freedom,